Hebrews 8:2, the sum of God's speaking focuses on the high priest. Hebrews 8:1 states, now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. The point of all of this is that we have, quote unquote, such a high priest. The high priesthood is the focus of this book. In the last 2 chapters, we have been talking about how he is backed by the oath. He is our hope. He is our security, our salvation, our growth, and everything in our Christian life has him as the backbone. He is the eternal life. The eternal life is supplied to us as bread and wine from the real Melchizedek, who is Christ himself. He is now joined to us, and he is touched with the feeling of our infirmity. He, by the law of the Spirit of life, responds out of what he is to that with which we struggle. We are weak in the flesh and have temptation. He feels that. He is touched with the present feeling of that weakness and responds with intercession to which we cannot give utterance. We feel a kind of groaning within, but through that intercession, he causes all things to work together for the good, conforming us to his image and bringing us into glory. Thus, we have a guarantee, backed by his high priesthood, that we will be brought into glory and we will make it through every time. Someone gave me the example that the Christian life and resurrection is like a buoy. The buoy cannot be sunk. You can push it down under the water, but it will spring back up every time. We are assailed by enemies from within and from without. Satan, our own conscience and flesh, the world, people lying, doing videos about us, and accusing us of this and that. All of this assault discourages us, but eventually something else rises up in us every time. That is a complete contrast to our feeling. What is that? That is Christ, our high priest, stepping in. See, we do not respond well to our weaknesses, and we usually self-medicate. But when we get out of the way and believe on Christ, the law of the Spirit of life is triggered. He comes in with resurrection, lifts us up out of that thing and puts us up so that we are no longer under it, under the water, but up on top, sitting in the ark. That is the good news. That is our high priest. That is what he is doing. Sometimes he initiates this and we are hardened and foul in our mind and surly, but something rises up. Other times we seem to initiate and say, quote, I'm miserable, I'm going to turn to the Lord, unquote. Either way, something rises up, and that is resurrection life. That is our brother, our high priest, the captain of our salvation, the author and the finisher of our faith. So we have such a high priest who is the sum of everything. He has said, who was set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. He has authority too. He is a king and a priest. In Hebrews chapter 8, verses 2 through 5, it states, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is of necessity that this man have someone also to offer. For if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. While this speaks of the service of the tabernacle, I'm going to come back to the tabernacle because it is more appropriate to speak of it in chapter 9. In this chapter, I'm going to focus on the distinction between the old, new, and everlasting covenant.